One TikTok video, one paused jet delivery, and one mineral export ban. Three headlines that don't seem connected. But put them together, you get Beijing's silent revenge. The US thought tariffs were the battlefield. But China just moved the war to your app store, your runway, and your electric grid. Let's break down the 5 coordinated counterstrikes China is unleashing and why they hit harder than a tariff ever could. Strike number 5, TikTok isn't just for dances anymore. Washington wants to ban TikTok, Beijing shrugs. Because while Congress argues about data privacy, Chinese influencers are already turning the app into an underground mall for factory direct goods. Luxury knockoffs, discount gadgets, viral dupe videos. It's not just e-commerce, it's algorithmic guerrilla warfare. Every clip that undercuts US brands with a $6 version, that's not marketing. That's soft power. And here's the twist. The more viral it gets, the harder it hits American manufacturing. Chinese sellers are using TikTok trends to flood Gen Z feeds with goods that look, feel, and function like high-end US brands at a fraction of the price. Consumers feel like they're winning. But behind the scenes, it's US producers and retailers eating the cost. Brands like Nike, Coach, even Apple accessories are now caught in the TikTok crossfire. Hashtags like #DupeHaul and #TikTok fines are racking up billions of views. And guess what? Most of it ships from Shenzhen. And the kicker? Americans are funding it with every swipe. Trump warned us about TikTok years ago. He called it a Trojan horse. The media rolled their eyes. Now who's laughing? And let's be honest, how many of those TikTok fines are dodging U.S. customs through obscure parcel routes and gray market resellers? China isn't just playing the game, they're reprogramming the rules, one 15-second video at a time. Strike number 4. Boeing gets grounded. Beijing didn't yell. It didn't tweet. It just told every Chinese airline to hold off on Boeing deliveries. Result? Wall Street panicked. Union jobs looked shaky. And the U.S. suddenly lost a $30 billion export pipeline. Entire factory towns from Wichita to Charleston went from humming to hushed. This wasn't just about jets. It was about leverage. While Trump was planning to tour Midwest factories and tout American manufacturing, Beijing pulled the rug. Quietly, efficiently, strategically. No tariffs, no threats, just silence and market chaos. And while Biden's White House tried to frame it as a temporary reassessment, the Chinese government didn't flinch. They knew what they were doing. The message was loud and clear. We can hit your economy without saying a word. Airbus stock soared. Boeing dropped. MAGA states felt the tremor. And just like that, China reshuffled the aircraft game board without lifting a finger. And it goes deeper. Chinese aviation authorities are now pushing airlines toward long-term fleet diversification. Translation? Boeing gets squeezed out slowly, subtly, and permanently. Strike number 3. The rare earth chokehold. What oil was to the 2000s, rare earths are to 2025. China supplies over 90% of the world's processed rare earth minerals, the stuff inside your EV motor, your fighter jet sensors, and even your iPhone's vibration motor. These aren't optional materials. They're essential. This month, they stopped shipping 7 core elements to the U.S. overnight. Prices spiked. Defense contractors raised alarms. EV battery plants hit pause. No speeches, no drama, just a bureaucratic freeze with global shockwaves. Trump tried to fund domestic rare earth development years ago. Remember? He pushed to open new mines, fast-track refining capacity. Biden's team shut it down over environmental review concerns. Now, we're paying the price. China controls the processing, the export licensing, even the refining waste disposal, every layer of the supply chain. And now, they're pulling strings like a maestro. We're just scrambling to find the sheet music. And let's be clear, this isn't about environmentalism. It's about control. China isn't worried about carbon footprints when they're paving over supply chains. The Biden admin chose green optics over hard assets. Trump? He chose resilience. Strike number 2. Trade route rewiring. She didn't just stop selling. He started rerouting. From Vietnam to Malaysia, China is signing port, rail, and energy deals that bypass U.S. scrutiny. A Belt and Road 2.0, faster, leaner, and built for sanction-proofing. New pipelines, new railways, port upgrades that make U.S. inspections irrelevant. Your made-in-China product might not even touch Chinese soil anymore. And that means Washington can't even tax what it can't trace. Beijing is building a new trade map where America's tariffs can't follow. Trump warned about this in his first term. If we don't control the ports, we don't control the product. Guess what? China listened. We didn't. And now, Southeast Asia becomes Beijing's launchpad. Cambodia's ports, Vietnam's trains, Indonesia's nickel. The map is redrawing itself, just not with us holding the pen. And it's not just trade. It's influence. China's creating alliances with the very countries we overlooked while chasing flashy G7 headlines. Now they're trading loyalty for infrastructure, and the receipts are written in concrete. Strike number 1, election economics. Forget military threats. China's new goal? Hit American wallets right before election season. Delays in EVs, soaring gadget prices, layoffs in aerospace. It's not random, it's surgical. They know a frustrated voter is a vulnerable voter. And what's easier to manipulate than someone who's angry about $4 gas, $1,200 phones, and job uncertainty, all engineered to make U.S. voters ask, are these tariffs helping or hurting us? Beijing doesn't need to rig the vote. It just needs you frustrated at the register. And while Biden fumbles for talking points, Trump's message becomes clearer. We should have held the line. Watch how it unfolds. EV price hikes hit suburban swing voters. Factory delays irritate Rust Belt workers. And all of it echoes through social media headlines. It's not a conspiracy. It's a strategy. And right now, they're executing it better than we are. And the irony? The same Democrats who mocked economic nationalism are now scrambling to explain why American-made goods are suddenly too expensive. Meanwhile, Trump's old message, build it here, protect it here, is aging like fine bourbon. This isn't the kind of war you see on CNN. There are no explosions, no press briefings, just a series of quiet moves, each one timed, each one calculated, and each one hitting where it hurts. The economy, the supply chain, and public opinion. So, the next time you scroll TikTok, see a delayed flight, or wonder why your new EV costs $12,000 more, just remember, it wasn't a glitch. It was a message. Trump saw it coming. The establishment didn't. Now, the price isn't just economic, it's political. Loudspeaker, drop your thoughts in the comments. Are these counterstrikes a wake-up call or just posturing? Thumbs up, like if you think the trade war isn't just about tariffs anymore. Speech Balloon subscribe for more deep dives into the biggest battles reshaping the global economy. See you in the next one.